What's up? What's up? What's up? This is 𝘚𝘵𝘦𝘱𝘲 here, and I'm bringing another interview on the table at Affiliate Marketing Secrets Radio. You gotta love the power of the internet. In my journey online, I've met great, amazing people. And on this episode, I want you to meet one of them. I've learned a lot of marketing things from him in a very short period of time. He's just, he's just an amazing person. He has epic, awesome energy, and he's also the host of a popular podcast called Sales Funnel Radio that I'm also tuning into because I'm all about sales funnels as well, right? So the interview that we did, the audio quality might be slightly different, but it's not going to stop it from being amazing. So let's jump right into it right now. I want to start by saying that if I want to blame someone or give credits to a guy that actually made me want to put this podcast together is the gentleman that I'm about to interview. This is the guy, man. I give him credit for that, and it's been amazing. The journey on this platform has been amazing with my podcast, and it's because of him that it came together. So I just want to start by saying that. And this guy is amazing. He's a family man just like me. He's an entrepreneur. But when it comes to marketing and sales funnels, this is the guy. This guy is so genius. It helped me understand so many things that were unclear to me before, because to me, being an entrepreneur is an ongoing learning journey. It never stops. I'll never know everything, but this guy right there really helped me understand and refine a lot of the things that I've been doing online, and kudos to this guy, man. So without further ado, I have Steve Larsen with me right now. Steve, how's it going, man? How you doing?
Billy, so good. Hey, first of all, I have loved following you, by the way. You're the man. And I like it so stoked every time. Like when I'm doing like a funnel build or I'm going live and I see Billy pop in, I'm like, it's going to be good. and I get pumped about it, man. So anyway, I just know the feeling's mutual. I've had a bunch of fun just, I don't know, hanging out with you in this journey. So
awesome. I'm an action taker, and a lot of stuff that you share is, even if it's the same thing that you kind of go over and over again, I like to tune in because it just helps me understand even more and maybe grab on something that I didn't grab the last time. So I'm always hyping the content that you share is very highly valuable. So just for those that are going to be listening or watching this, maybe talk a little bit about where you're from. Where are you from, and how did you come across being an entrepreneur overall? So let's start with that then.
Yeah, I honestly think it started in when I was really young. My dad thankfully taught me to work hard, and so I was 8 years old, going door to door, pitching my neighbors to mow their lawns. And that's really what it was. And when I was little older than that, 4 or 5 years older than that, I was the oldest of 6 kids growing up. And
where are you from? Where were you born?
Littleton, Colorado, actually, Denver.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So it's funny, it's because I was the oldest, right? I was the one that was deemed with all the chores. Okay. And my dad could see he needed to motivate me in some cool ways. So I don't know if it's this crazy stroke of genius on his side or what, but he went and he hired me as the yard manager. And what he did is he gave me this, he said, all right, Steven, now what are all the tasks that need to happen for the yard? And so I'd go and I'd write them all down. You got to mow, there's the trimming, there's the weed, there's the garden, all this stuff, And then I came back to him and gave him the list, and he goes, okay, now, I want you to, it's up to you, but I'm going to give you a budget every single week to get that done. And if you want to, you can do it yourself, but I encourage you to not. I encourage you to hire your siblings. So what I did, I had to hold interviews for positions in the yard with my siblings. And I was the guy managing it all, and I had to write contracts, and I had to look up what an invoice even was, and I had to look up and I went through and I wrote down all this stuff, and it was crazy good. And literally my siblings, who were, some of them quite a bit younger than me, were signing contracts with me to be weeding this area of the yard each week. This sibling, except for the second Tuesday because they got this practice or whatever, they're going to be doing this part of the yard. And if it didn't work out, like the buck stopped with me, I still had to get the task done. And then at the end, if I wanted to get paid, I had to go itemize everything, create an invoice, and go give it back to my dad. And it seemed crazy, but like that was one of the best educations I ever had in my life. And I was the yard manager, right? And it was this machine that I created. It was this machine that I ran and put together. And it was my first experience ever doing something like that. And it tasted good. Oh, baby. I was so stoked about it. And I went and when I was in high school, a little bit after that, I was like, man, how can I make more money like that? And so I started selling just random knickknacks at school, and I would get in trouble for it because I would sell so many of them and they would come interrupt our classes and stuff like that. Anyway, it was just super fun. So from a young age, I just learned how to sell. I wanted to sell and really value the activity of sales in general. That's kind of how, from a young age, that's how it totally started.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, we have quite a few things in common, like when it comes to the tech stuff and the technology and all that good stuff, because my educational background, I went to college for computer science, and then I went to university for software engineering. But after the first year, I ended up not going for it. I actually quit after a year after my first intern because I realized I didn't want to do that for the next 20, 30 years of my life. And then that's when I went on to pursue my passion as a music producer. As you can see, I have some equipment in the back here.
So, love it.
So when you went to school, what did you go study for, and what, kind of made you say, okay, maybe that's not really what I want to do? Like, can you cover a little bit on that? Because I heard it a few times, but for those that are going to be watching this, I want them to hear it too.
Totally. My dad was an executive at IBM for a while. He was an architect over there, software architect. So we had computers everywhere growing up. We built our own network inside of our house. I just grew up with computers all over the place. And my dad would always draw these huge designs in his office. He worked from home, similar to like I do now. And it's funny because like this funnel drawing stuff that we do is so similar to what I saw him doing when I was like 4, And so it's kind of deeply ingrained in me that way a little bit. So I always went to college thinking that I was going to be like a CIT guy, like be a coder like him. And when I got there, my brain, dude, Billy, I can't do it. I can't do it.
I'm telling you,
man. Anyway, maybe I just didn't give it enough of a shot, but whatever. I was like, I only did it one semester, and I was like, I'm out of this. I got to go figure out how to do more of like maybe I'll do finance. And it's funny because I chose specifically not to do marketing because I thought it was the cop-out major. I thought it was like the cheap major. It's like, no, man, you only do marketing if you want like the lazy way. Man, that's like exactly the opposite. And anyway, so I went into finance, and then after a while, I learned how to understand numbers, how to read the spreadsheets, how to, what makes the business flow, the lifeblood, the thing that actually keeps it alive. But then I was like, I'm still not satisfied. And all of a sudden I had this teacher. There was this semester where all we did was build a business from scratch and run it and try to make as much money as we could during the semester, selling to poor students. And I was voted as the CEO, right, of this thing. And we were doing like $2,000 to $3,000 a week, which is pretty good from this thing we started from scratch, which is crazy cool. And anyway, we went and I was like, hey, Mr. Professor, I really hate finance. And he's like, why are you doing it? And I was like, I don't know what to do. What do I do? I can see myself doing this. I can see myself doing that. And I think that's the issue with a lot of entrepreneurs now. You don't know where to plant your feet because there's so many things you honestly would be passionate enough about to go learn and be successful at. We're all really good at like making crap work when it needs to. And he's like, you would be great as a marketer. And I was like, I don't want to be a marketer. Like, that's like the major, like a Facebook post. Come on. That's what I thought marketing was. And he goes, no. He was the CMO of Denny's, of Pizza Hut. The man invented stuffed crust pizza. Whoa. And he was like, hey, and he ended up being one of my first mentors. And he said, hey, you know what you need to do is go into marketing, because marketers are problem solvers. It's a new problem every day. And when you do that and you learn how to create value, you're actually the one driving the business, right? Finance, they're like he said, think about, this is what he told me. He's like, think about like a car. You're driving down the road. supply chain, which is the other thing I was thinking about doing. Cause I like to do like spreadsheets, stuff like that. And he goes, supply chain, right? They're the ones like looking at the oil gauge. Okay, how far can we get? We got enough, and they're like leaning out the window. How much gas we got in this thing? Okay, sweet. Finance is like calculating the cost. Who's actually in the driver's seat that actually runs companies as marketers? They're the ones going, okay, let's go over there and driving it. And I was like, that makes a ton of sense. And as I learned more about what it meant to be a marketer, not just, and the difference between marketing and selling, I was like, this is the coolest field I've ever seen in my life. This is awesome. Why is everybody not? Wait, no, everyone don't be a marketer. I just want to do it. And that's kind of the way I started with it.
Awesome. That's great. In your journey, there's different business models that we can apply, right? When I came on the online space, I wanted to monetize my music production business online, right? Coming from the online, offline. And then I kind of build my name up like that, but it was quite the roller coaster. Things weren't working. I actually went broke spending money on advertising at one point. So it was, disastrous. So I know that you did affiliate, well, you still do like affiliate marketing, but how did you go from where you started as your journey as an online marketer, right, to where you're at today? Like, what was it that started working for you that got you results and that really took you to the next level?
Yeah, it was a series of things, and you kind of touched on it a little bit for sure. I was sitting in one of these classes again, and I was already the oddball. I already knew I was. The teachers were wondering what the heck I was doing. You know what I mean? Like, this kid, he's always fighting with us. He doesn't agree with everything we say. He kind of questions us, and I started learning some of this affiliate marketing stuff. This is way before I even knew who Russell was. And
I know that you've been Russell's right-hand man for a while. We're going to cover a little bit on that in just a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Totally. Yeah. And he, it's funny because I was like, I want to, man, I was always trying to run businesses. And it was funny is like the pursuit of trying to actually make money, not just learn. I mean, I was really trying to turn the dollars. I learned way more than every other student that was in there. I was like, oh, the pursuit is crazy. There's joy in the journey alone. And there's this guy, and I started listening to him, and he said, you could go be an affiliate marketer. I was like, what is that? And there was this super crappy squeeze page template software that he had, where I could go in and I could change the headline. I could put in a video from YouTube, and I could put a button call to action with a little headline on it. And I started learning I could grab things from ClickBank and send traffic to it. And that was the first time I made money online. Put $50 in one night. Nice. Woke up the next morning and I was like, holy crap, I have wasted thousands of dollars on things that didn't work. There's $50 that came back in. Oh, that sucks. And I didn't realize how cool that was, that I literally created a break-even funnel and had people on the list now. And I was like, I should have just kept doing that. But it was that, doing that, and then starting to do some work with Paul Mitchell while I was in college and learning that traffic isn't enough. I need to learn how to make it convert. And I was like, well, how to make it convert? And then I found Russell. And it's just this big progression, that I don't feel like I can, it's not like one moment. It's like, well, what? I don't know. I think if an entrepreneur can learn to be self-aware enough to go like, what am I still dumb on that I should know? And what am I still dumb on that I should not know? Right? It doesn't matter. And then go study those things that you should know to actually make the dollar happen. It's just a constant pursuit like you're talking about.
Awesome. So it's like a number of things kind of, you kept implementing, you kept going for it. And
like, oh, I got
something started to go. So now you've worked at ClickFunnels, and that's amazing because I freaking love ClickFunnels. I'm going to tell you, man, the movement, the way that everything is structured, the way it's going, it's just amazing. I have like all their books, pretty much all the things. Now, I know at one point in your journey, you worked at ClickFunnels and you were Russell Brunson's right-hand man. Can you cover that a little bit? How it was and everything?
Yeah, I don't know if I could say it. Oh man, what a whirlwind! Gosh, that place is so fun. That place is that's the real Disneyland, man. There's magic over there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what specific. Is there anything you want to know? I guess about it. There's so many topics there.
So I know that there's a story that you talked about how you actually got to work with Russell. Do you want to cover on that just a little bit briefly? How it happened?
Yeah. It's funny, man. Like it was never part of my goal to work at ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels came out of beta like a year and a half before I left college. And I knew enough about Russell and I had gone through enough of his stuff that I was starting to get some success with it. So I was like, well, this must be good. And I saw a headline for one of these things that we selling ClickFunnels with, you know, I'm making 17 grand a day and I can ethically knock it off in 10 minutes. And I was like, sold. I was like, sweet. Like, I'm an easy buy. I'm an easy seller. I'm an easy buyer. Right. And I was like, oh, I got to have this. So I went and there's a story on how we got it, ClickFunnels itself. But I, around the time when his first Funnel Hacking Live event was coming up, we were having our first baby, our first kid. And to keep peace in the tribe, I did not go because, you know, that wouldn't have been good for our first kid. She was literally born like right around the same time as the event. Domestic relations would not have been good. So I was like, well, that's probably good anyway because I don't have any money to get there. So, and how can I afford it though? And that's the question I started asking myself. How can I afford it? And so I was like, well, I this funnel building thing, I've dabbled in it in these other areas. What if I started trading funnels to get there? And so it was cool because it was around the time the first event happened. It gave me a full year. And I don't think people give themselves enough time or enough credit. Like, oh, I've been working on it for 3 months and nothing's happened. It's like, well, yeah, that's totally fine. You're like learning how to walk again, you know, basically. And so I started trading all these funnels. It gave me a year to go find. The first thing I had to do is I had to figure out somebody who would be willing to do that kind of a deal, which I think is very key. I knew what the deal was prior to finding a client. I wanted someone to pay for my Funnel Hacking Live expenses, plane ticket, hotel night, event. And I wanted to find an existing company because I was sick of working with startups. And so I was like, anyway, I made a huge list of all these companies and started shotgun emailing all of them. I was like, hey, I'll build this. I know you don't know what it is, but if it works, should we pay me? All right, cool. If not, that's fine. And I just started canvassing, emailing all over the place. Sure, I triggered some kind of, you know, email sensors all over the place or something like that. Some SMTP sensors. Like, who's this kid? It's the same email to everyone. Anyway, I got a response back from somebody and they said, sure. And so I started trading these funnels and trading, you know, and the computer I'm on right now, actually, to get all the stuff I needed. I literally would go film people by renting a camera from libraries and then they would pay the plane ticket. I would film it and then I'd take it back and I'd give the camera back. And then I would do all the editing in libraries because that's where the software were. Like, people can bootstrap way more than I don't have a computer. Like, man, I didn't have a computer that could do that either. You know, like, I don't have the software. So what are you complaining about? Someone does somewhere. It's somewhere. And anyway, so I got to the first Funnel Hacking Live event and traded all this stuff to get there. And it's funny, man, because like what little money I did have, I didn't want to pay for a taxi for it. So I rented one of those little like city bikes, the pedaling bikes in San Diego, dude. And I had my luggage strapped over my right shoulder, balancing on this bike, riding through like all the way through San Diego to this event. And I remember explicitly thinking, this is so cool. I can't believe this is magical. You know, I still remember that. I was like, like this feeling, you know, the honor. Wow. You know, and I walk in and I start registering. And I said to myself, I will do whatever this man tells me to do. I have sacrificed so much. The ticket was only like $400 or $500. Like, they weren't that expensive, you know, at that time. The content was great still, but anyway, the event now is like huge,
like way bigger, yeah.
And I said, well, my preparation was worth way more than the $500, right? I worked so hard just to get in the room. And I said to myself, I will do whatever the man tells me to do. I've worked extremely hard to get here, but I will never publish. I had that exact thought. And I get in there and Mark Bangeter from support looks at me and he goes, are you that kid pulling off all that Star Wars ninja crap in our software? And I was like, I don't know. It is you. Why? I was like, I'm graduating in a week. I'm going to go work for somebody else. I already got a job lined up. I already got, you know, maybe, you know, and over the course of the event, the first thing Russell said is start publishing. And I was like, there's no way. and, you know, 4 more times I got a job offer. By the end of the event, I was like, I should apply to ClickFunnels. And I didn't barter enough hotel nights. So I stayed up the whole last night in the lobby and did my application to go in. And 2 days later, I was sitting in front of them. 3 days after that, I was hired, or I was, 20 minutes after sitting next to him, I was hired. 3 days later, I was sitting next to him. And the
Wow.
first thing I'm watching him do is with his phone publishing. What's up, guys? It's
Publishing.
Russell on the podcast. What's up? It's Russell on his blog. What's up? It's Russell. And I was like, there's something to this. So I started this.
Nice. And this is the
That was
reason
the
why
journey,
I even
man.
started this too, because you emphasize on that. And I think it's really important for anybody that wants to get heard online, right?
Yeah. Sorry, long story on that one, maybe, but yeah, it's crazy
That's
though.
okay.
Crazy journey.
That's okay, man. So, how many funnels would you say you built over there? Because I know you built some funnels that reached $1 million level and 2 Common Club awards and all that good stuff. How many funnels would you say you built while you were over there working at ClickFunnels there?
In true honesty, I lost track around 200, but there were single projects that were 180 funnels alone. The final project I was working on when I was over there was 333 funnels. It was like, dude, it was ridiculous.
I don't think there's anybody on the planet that built more funnels than you, right?
Besides Russell, I agree with you. I don't know. It's some of them were revenue funnels and some of them were fulfillment funnels, you know, like, so they weren't always like these massive front end, like, expert secrets book funnel kind of funnel.
Yeah.
Different styles. So
a lot of them were small ones. I remember I heard a story from you where you made a funnel for someone and it was working so well that you had to turn it off. That's a great problem to have, man. I mean,
multiple times, man. Yeah, that's happened.
I mean, for someone right now that may not have huge success with funnels and maybe they're not full-time online yet, what would be your advice to them? Anybody that may be watching or listening to this right now, like they know about funnels, they're implementing it, they're not getting the results that they want with them yet with funnels. What would you be your best advice for someone like that?
I think as soon as someone can understand that their product is not what sells, that helps people tremendously. As soon as they understand that, like, a funnel is just a method. And when people think like sales funnels, they think immediately to the internet and they think of pages. That's actually not a funnel. That's just a way to, I don't know, deliver a funnel. A funnel
yeah.
At the core of it. I could stand on stage and have a message and an offer. That's a funnel. A funnel. So I think when they can start to separate that and be like, oh man, my product is not actually what does the selling. A sales message, it doesn't sound like Steve Jobs is like one of the only guys that can stand up with the iPod and go 1,000 songs in your pocket. That is the message. That was it. And boosh, billions. You know what I mean? Like, not many products ever do that. That is a straight exception. Most products require a sales message. And then, like, my sister and I were watching Shark Tank last night, you know, and these people you can tell walk up and they're like, check it out. Check it out. Oh, I got this sweet product. Oh, wow, it's amazing. Wow. And then they're like, cool. That's a sweet product. And then the follow question is always, what are the sales? You know, what's the sale? How does it sell? It's funny because the sales message is almost more important. It definitely is just as important. It's almost more important than the product. And like, there's some real power there when you understand that. The issue is that sometimes people make products that are crappy because they take advantage of that rule. But I want people to understand, like, a funnel is just pages on the internet, but you already had a funnel. If you sold anything ever, you had a funnel.
Yeah.
It's just the issue is people don't make them on purpose. You know, people don't make them on purpose. And so if you have a sales message, it is separate than the product. And you can deliver both of those through an internet funnel. And it's the separation between what is actually marketing, what is actually sales, what is actually my product, what is actually closing, and understanding those are all vastly different topics. That is easily the way I've seen most people accelerate their progress in the funnel building world, especially on the internet.
Nice.
If you drag and drop, you can use ClickFunnels. That's not the issue. The issue is people aren't marketers.
Yeah. They have to refine their message, storytelling, understand that sales and marketing is two different things. And you really helped me understand that as well. And, this is where it's at when it comes to improving your skills, when it comes to marketing, right? So I also know you're into books. I'm into books as well. What are your top 3 books that you would recommend any entrepreneurs to kind of put their nose in or maybe listening to? Because I'm about audiobooks as well. So
sure, yeah. So obviously, .com Secrets and Expert Secrets changed my life. So we're gonna go besides those.
Those are like a must.
Yeah, those are a must. Same with like Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's like the gateway drug.
That's one of my top 3 of all time, man.
So good, right?
Do it, yeah.
Oh man, and I feel like the 4-hour work week is starting to hit that category for me as well. That was another gateway drug where it was like, holy crap, this is how you actually do that. So besides those, I'd say Another book that got me to just put stuff out there, and it was a book that helped drop down the barriers to me on what it actually took to get started. The book Launch. If you haven't read the book Launch, man, that's a great book. That for me, because there's this mentality, because I went and got a marketing degree, a business degree in marketing. And there's this facade that gets pushed around inside of college where you're like, I gotta be up here. My product has to be like totally, oh my gosh, like I gotta invest millions into this thing. Like, and that is so not true. Launch though, that one really got me over that. I'm looking over my shelves. I got shelves over the place.
You got quite a few ones that from what I've saw.
Yeah, a lot. Another book that has really been extremely impactful lately to me is a book called Play Bigger. That book has been, gosh, that is a good book.
Awesome.
I'm re-listening to that one. Another one that I continue to go back to also is Rework.
Okay.
I don't know if you've read that one also. But
not yet. I'm taking note of those right now.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Rework was super, super good. I don't know, man. There's so many.
All right. Awesome, man.
Behind the Cloud. That's another good one.
Okay, great. So we're about to wrap this up anyways. I don't want to take too much of your time. So real quickly, where do you see yourself in maybe 5 years from now? And then we'll wrap it up.
5 years from now, I think I'll get more involved with ClickFunnels actually, but in different capacities.
Nice.
One of the reasons I left is I told Russ, I was like, dude, I feel like I'm in the right bus. I'm just in the wrong seat. And I need to be doing slightly other things. So I'm highly involved as a 𝘚𝘵𝘬 Club coach over there, highly involved in other secret projects I can't talk about yet.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's funny because I don't work there anymore, but I totally am still a part of it. And I just believe in that sphere as well. But as far as me personally, I think I'm going to be in the growing and selling businesses game. I'm really good at spinning up companies, systemizing them, and then now what? I get bored as soon as management phase pops in.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be the grow and sell guy.
I think it's something that's always going to kind of follow you. So
yeah.
You've always been good at it from when you're a kid.
Thanks.
You're going to keep growing businesses and stuff. So awesome, man. Yo, I really appreciate your time, man. Thank you for coming on. We're going to wrap this up right now. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your value. Keep pushing, keep doing what you're doing. I'm still going to keep learning from you. And we'll definitely keep in touch because we're in the same groups, right? I'm inside of your inner circle group as well. So
absolutely, yeah.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk soon, man. Thank you.
You're the man, dude. Appreciate it.
Pretty awesome interview, right? This guy, he knows what he's talking about, especially if you're talking about marketing message, storytelling, sales funnels in general. He's the man. He created funnels that generated $1 million already. He's a 𝘚𝘵𝘬 Club award winner, and he is the head coach for the 𝘚𝘵𝘬 Club students over at ClickFunnels. So he works with Russell. He's the right-hand man. So, I don't think there's anybody else after Russell that built as much funnels as he did, right? So he's offering something right now called the Funnel Critique, where he can go in and review your funnel and find out what's working, what's not working, maybe help you tweak and all that stuff. So if you go to affiliatemarketingsecretsradio.com/Steven, that's /STEPHEN, you're going to get access to how you can get a funnel critique from Steven Larsen so that you can go ahead and get to the next level with your sales funnels. All right. So that was affiliatemarketingsecretsradio.com/Steven, STEPHEN. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and I'll talk to you on the next one.